She just can't have the sound.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Centre for Spiritual Living Toronto. My name is Tanis Burnett, also known as the announcement lady for anybody who's new with us today. Because announcements can be a little dry, we, months ago went, we're going to have some fun. So we take any kind of classic tune, anything that shows up on the radio that we go, oh, that would work. So each week we do a new song. So thank you for indulging us. Let's get to it. First of all, it's birthday and anniversary Sunday. Anybody who's celebrating a birthday or an anniversary, did you fill out a little ballot? And we'll do a little draw. Looks like we're done. So why don't we sing first?
We could do that.
We could do that.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary.
Tara, would you like to be the... It's not your birthday or anniversary this month? All right. And you have glasses on, so you get to read it. It was blank.
Nobody wins.
The Invisible Man's birthday today.
Hey, it's Corbin! Yay! The Toronto Cat Rescue.
Yay! And that will all become clear in a moment when Carmen... So you're the birthday girl.
I am.
You're the special girl of the day.
Yeah.
Here, I'll give you that back. There you go. All right, on to announcements. There was a board meeting Sunday, August 17th at 1 p.m. There are gobs of books in the bookstore. New books. Gobs of new books in the bookstore. We're working on other items. Please fill out a questionnaire. It is in the bookstore to find out what, you can fill it out, let us know what you would like to see. And there's a gigantic yellow tag sale on right now. Anything with a yellow tag is 25% off. Excellent. So stop by on your way out today. Fall classes have been chosen, so thank you for all who sent in your opinion on what you wanted to have. Mental Muscle starts Monday, August 25th. It will be Mondays and Thursdays at 7:30 a.m. here at the center. I think I just heard a gasp of air to my left. It is 16 weeks of spiritual boot camp. You may have seen the results in other people who have taken Mental Muscle. Now is your chance to experience it yourself. There is also Mental Muscle Extreme. Oh. Jonathan, please tell me this is online. It is a daily version of Mental Muscle built on Reverend James Mellon has asked Jonathan to take on this course as well. It is a daily version of Mental Muscle built on the CPR model. 15 minutes each day, 5 days a week. Tell me that's online.
It's a teleconference.
Oh, okay. I just had visions of these poor people coming down here for 15 minutes. I'm on your side, I tell you. I will take care of you people. It is a daily dose of spiritual truth. Try it and see how it changes your life. Registration will be open in a few weeks, so stay tuned. Also, The Creative Process in the Individual by Thomas Troward, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. beginning, also known as Beginning, September 3rd, and it will be a 10-week course. This is a different Troward class than what has been taught. See, there's so many announcements I'm trying to rush, and I'm just tripping over my tongue. I will do what Jonathan does. This is a different Troward class than what Jonathan has taught in the past. Thomas Troward was one of the major influences on Ernest Holmes, and many say, rumor has it, is that 25%, perhaps more, of the science of mind is Troward-based. Judy, did you know that? She does now, yes. If there was no Thomas Troward, there might not be Science of Mind, the Science of Mind book. So the book that is being covered is The Creative Process in the Individual by Thomas Troward. And the last class that we will be teaching, that's the royal we, that would be Jonathan teaching, is the Science of Mind 100. It is 10 weeks, and it will be on Sundays, so you don't need to go away and come back on a different day. You can go have a little lunch in the neighborhood and come back for 1 o'clock beginning Sunday, September 7th. Fundamentals of Science of Mind, that's what this class is teaching. This is where it all begins. You want to learn how to pray effectively, this is the class. You want to learn practical tools for incorporating Science of Mind into your life, this is the class. Want to generally make your life better, and who doesn't? This is the class. The book covered will be The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes and Thomas Troward. All right, let's get this party started. Everybody put your hands together for Reverend Jonathan Zenz.
Hilarious. So to clarify, the Science of Mind 100 series is actually 32 weeks. I'm going to be teaching it on Sundays this academic year. I'm looking at a plan, because I know that we're starting class at 1 o'clock on Sundays. I am looking at a possible plan for people who are in service to pre-order a box lunch that can get brought in so that you don't have to go. See how I'm working all that out? So that's something that I'm looking at and working out details on that. Also, the Mental Muscle Extreme, James Mellon, who wrote Mental Muscle and created the Mental Muscle program, called me this week and he says, I want you to take over Mental Muscle Extreme in October. So that's how that came about. It is 15 minutes every day, 5 days a week for 6 weeks on the telephone. And then you interact as well by sending messages to me through a web blog. So that's how that all works. It's all good stuff. I encourage you all to take classes because classes are where you really learn. I say this all the time, I love Sunday service, but classes are really where you get this stuff, right? Yes. How is everyone this morning?
Fabulous.
Wonderful. I am so grateful to see you all here. It's such a pleasure always, every Sunday, to have you join us. And I want to say welcome to everyone. I want to say welcome if you're visiting us for the first time. I am so grateful to you for bringing your consciousness to share in this celebration of conscious awareness. And that's what we are celebrating here today, conscious awareness. The awareness that there is a consciousness, an infinite consciousness that is pervading all of creation, and in fact, it is creation. It is who and what we are, and so because that is the truth, we get to use it for our own purposes. There's nothing out there that's saying, hey, you have to be this way. No, we get to decide how we want to be. So let's celebrate that today. What do you say?
Yes.
I want to say hello to everybody who's watching us online as well. If you're watching us live, it's great to have you with us, and if you are watching us in the archives, good to have you with us as well. Let's launch this off with a brand new song. We're going to get funky, right?
Yes.
That's right. This is a song by my friend Gary Lynn Floyd and Robin Hackett. You'll get it. It's really easy.
Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Steven! Mr. Stephen Belair. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
All right. On that note, let's get this really rolling. I'm going to invite up to the lectern. Woo! Yes.
We're awake now.
Yes, we are awake now. I'm going to invite up to the lectern to begin our experience of inspiration today. One of our wonderful practitioner interns who has been in class with me for so long. No, she is a joy in class, and I'm telling you, the growth I've seen in this woman since I first got here 2.5 years ago, over 2.5 years ago now, has been extraordinary. She is a testament to why I believe teaching and why I believe in teaching and why I believe taking class is really where it's at. Please welcome to the lectern, Carmen Noseworthy.
Thank you, Jonathan. Lovely introduction. Oh, good morning. Oh, wow. So, my quote for this morning is from the first chapter of The Power of Decision, and it's called The Intelligence Factor. And, of course, there are no mistakes. So, I kind of pieced together a couple of different sentences from that first chapter based on my experience of the intelligence factor over the past few days. So he says, the first sentence, the individual's ability to act unintelligently in a universe of intelligence is amazing. That's pretty much the whole book right there. But he says, unintelligence functioning in human consciousness produces wrong or deconstructive decisions. The power to make right or constructive decisions is ours. Modern science proves the universe, the cosmos, to be an arena of intelligence, wherein intelligence, left to its own devices, will act and react intelligently. This creative process, individualized in us, is our capacity for right, constructive, life-affirming decisions. The infinite mind could not act unintelligently. It continues to act intelligently as law, no matter what we do in our lives. The intelligence just does. So what does this mean to me in my life? Once you make a decision with conviction, Providence moves to align a sequence of events to bring about that which you have decided. It's really that simple. The creative power is set in motion. It's set on, you're setting it on a mission. And the moment we make a decision, the results are instantaneous. And if we pay attention and follow the signs, we may just be surprised with how life brings about what we want in unexpected ways. And so I have a story to share, because this is how it...
Breathe.
Linda and Lena are probably bawling their eyes out right now. Okay. Okay, I had my moment. So last week I was invited to a cottage for the long weekend. And I was humming and hawing all week about whether or not to go. And what I was doing was allowing the circumstances to determine how I was feeling and what I was going to do for myself. And I was reminded by Helen and by Jonathan that, you know, it's important to take care of myself. So literally last minute, I wasn't even sure on Wednesday night when I was packing my bag if I was going on Thursday. And literally Thursday morning, I woke up and it said, yes, I'm going. So I came into work for half a day and, you know, let Jonathan know that, oh, I'm leaving, by the way. And I had some errands to do, so I was getting all these errands to do. And then begrudgingly, I will admit, I had to go back to the house for something because I just wanted to get on the road and I wanted to get there early. And so anyway, I did all that. I took a breath and I said, still lots of time, and I was going to get there up early. And so I get out my directions, and I'm driving out to Bayfield is where I was going. And I'd never been there before, so I had my directions. And I'm going, driving along, and there was a point where I could have taken at Kingston Highway 8 and go a straight route or go the back roads that I had the directions for. And I said, oh, I'd go the back roads. It'd be a nice country drive. So I'm following the roads, and no big deal, listening to my music. And so I get on Highway 44, and so, you know, you're traveling the roads, and there's roadkill on the side, and I, you know, you see the raccoons and the squirrels and all that, and I say my blessings as I pass the animals. And so I'm driving down the road, and Highway 44, it was freshly paved, it was awesome. And it's 2 lanes, right? So 1 way each way. And I'm cruising down on cruise control, just enjoying the country and saying my blessings to the animals who have passed. And I'm driving down, and I see this little lump of fur on the middle of the lane on the other side, and didn't really think anything of it. I was just about to say my blessings, and as I passed by, I literally went, oh my God, that's a kitten. And it was alive. So thankfully, there was hardly anybody traveling this road, so I instantly slammed on my brakes, and I stopped because that's what came through me, and I turned around, and I went up to the kitten in the middle of the road, and I picked it. As I walked up to it, this little head turned around and looked at me and met me in the eyes with these beautiful amber eyes, and I just knew that I had to pick up this kitten and save its life. So I did, and I'm standing there in the middle of the road with this little 8-week-old kitten, his bloody mouth, and wondering, I have no idea where I am. Like, I didn't even know where to go, and at that moment a car came driving down, and I flagged down the car, and I asked where the nearest vet was. So thankfully, it was 10 minutes away. And so I went to the vet, and you know, the choice was to either pay for an assessment or take it to an animal shelter, and it would probably put down. And I knew that that wasn't the possibility in that moment for me because I wanted to know. So anyway, events unfolded, and the cat did not have life-threatening injuries, and we got transferred to another vet closer to where I was cottaging, and had to go in for surgery and reconstructive jaw surgery, and he's got nerve damage in his arm. Anyway, I finally made it to Linda's cottage at 6 o'clock when I had planned on being there at 3 o'clock. The point, and so the cat had to stay overnight, and the point of this story is that the intention that I had set for my weekend was to allow myself to relax and be in love and joy with my friends. And the love and the joy that showed up for me was in a completely different way. And finding this cat and saving this cat's life not only changed my life, but it changed Cheryl's and Lena's and Linda's, because the whole weekend changed into this beautiful, wonderful healing experience of this little life and this little kitten is just, he's just a trooper. And, you know, he doesn't know that he's got a bum arm. You know, he just got up, and as soon as we picked him up, he's just like, oh, and full of life. And he doesn't know that he had reconstructive surgery. It was really, truly amazing. So the decision that I made to go to the cottage and the events that got me there and saved this cat's life, it was just truly, truly an exceptional, life-shifting experience. And I'm just deeply, deeply grateful. And that is the power of decision. You never know how life is going to show up for you, and you have to be open to allow yourself to accept how it shows up, even if it's not how you wanted it. Because certainly knows my visa bill didn't want it. Oh dear, I had to say that. So we're always provided for no matter what decision we make. And my affirmation today is I open my heart and surrender to the flow of life. And I would like, so I'm inviting you to say that with me. And the first time you say it, this is how I see repeating affirmations. The first time you say it, it's like to wake up your brain. We're doing something different here. We're putting something else in there. The second time you say it is to bring it into your heart. And the third time you say it is to own it, is to really own it. So I'm inviting you to say it 3 times. First to wake up your brain, wake up your heart, and then to really own it. So all together, I open my heart and surrender to the flow of life. I open my heart and surrender to the flow of life. I open my heart and surrender to the flow of life. Thank you.
I open my heart and surrender to the flow of life. It's a great testament to the infinite possibilities that exist in this world, in this universe, when we open ourselves up. And so I'm going to invite each and every one of us to simply relax right where we are, take a breath, allow ourselves to be in that open space with a full recognition that everything unfolds for our highest good. Knowing this, trusting this, allowing this, I know that all is well. With all due respect, you're playing the wrong song. And I'm about to sing the different song. You know, maybe we should just do it. We should be open to the infinite possibilities.
What is that, Face of God?
That was Face of God. I'm like, that's not the right song.
Or we could
Well,
try
now he's
singing
playing the
it to
other
that,
song,
yeah.
so we're going with it. Ah. That was hilarious. Oh. Just take a breath. All is well, and I am grateful. All is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I am grateful. Life is good, and so it is. All is well, and I am grateful. All is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I am grateful. Life is good, and so it is.
So, in this moment of knowing that all is well and perfect and whole and complete, for that is the only thing that there is perfection, wholeness, and completeness in every moment. It is the essence of who and what each and every one of us is. When we allow that perfection and divine givingness to come through our hearts and pour into our lives, everything unfolds in beauty and joy and gratefulness and in wonderful experiences that allow us to step into a greater expression of life. For life is intelligent. Life is creation. And there is only the power of creation back of all things that each and every one of us is in every moment. It is who and what we are. And for this knowing, I am deeply touched and grateful to know that I am the point of power, to know that each and every one of us is the point in power in every moment of our lives, to make choices and decisions that are life-affirming. And I am grateful. I am grateful for each and every person here, for each and every person online. I am grateful to know the truth. And as I know the truth, as I speak it here right now, goes into the law of mind, the part of God that just knows to do. I know it is already done because my words are instantaneously manifest. And I simply surrender. I allow myself to receive and surrender to the flow of life. I simply let this be so. And together we say, and so it is.
All is well, and I am grateful. All is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I am grateful. Life is good, and so it is. Life is good, and so it is.
Thank you, Carmen. It's just one of those moments. What I did not tell you, but Carmen has touched on it today, is that I've decided to do a new series of talks. And so this, starting today, the next 8 services, including today, will be based on the book, The Power of Decision by Raymond Charles Barker, which is why she was quoting from that book, and it's going to be the basis of my talk. And this is a perfect song to launch us into the power of decision. So please welcome Pierre Gautreau and the Queen Street Band with Pack It Up.
Sometimes it just sticks around. Even though it's nowhere to be found. Keep pulling the past back into our present now. You'd think that we'd have learned by now. Pack it up and seal it tight. Send your baggage on a one-way flight. On a one-way flight. On a one-way flight. Out of your mind sight. Here's the thing we when the bags are too heavy, we can't take flight. Keep only what you need to make you soar with your inner light. There are no victims, only volunteers who live anywhere but right now, right here. Whoa, pack it up and seal it tight. Send your baggage on a one-way flight. On a one-way flight. Don't look back, eyes straight ahead. Reliving the past and mess with your head. Stay in the moment, breathe real deep. Peace of mind is what you'll reap. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Pack it up and seal it tight. Send your baggage on a one-way flight. On a one-way flight. On a one-way flight. Out of your mind's sight. Here's the thing we have to know. Deal with it, then let it go.
Here's a throw in the Queen Street Band. There are no victims, only volunteers. You laugh. That's the truth. If you have the consciousness of being a victim, you are volunteering for the experience of being a victim. That's the way it boils down. That's the way it boils down. Oh, sounds like a good plan. Let's pack it up. Pack it up. Send that which no longer works on a one-way flight right out of our lives. Does that sound like something we should do? Yes? I'm ready for that. I'm ready to send off what no longer works for me and just be done with it. Just be done with it. And I get to do that by making the decision to do that. So we are beginning the power of decision today. And we are utilizing this book for the next 8 weeks, every Sunday. And week 1 is the intelligence factor. And it's, of course, we start with the exact same sentence because, first of all, I love Raymond Charles Barker's sense of humor. This first sentence is brilliant. The individual's ability to act unintelligently in a universe of intelligence is amazing. Unintelligence, functioning as human consciousness, produces wrong decisions. That's the basis of the entire philosophy. Unintelligence, functioning as human consciousness, produces wrong decisions. As a result, people limit themselves with sickness, financial strain, family quarrels, and frustration, all of which are unnecessary. All of which is unnecessary. All of it. Not just some of it. All of it is unnecessary. We do not require these things in our life, except to the degree that we decide we want to have them in our lives. And a lot of people are making the decision to have these things in their lives. Mostly because they're not willing to pack it up and send it on its way. It simply takes a decision. Most people don't believe they have control. Do you believe, now this is a rhetorical question, do you believe, check in with yourself, that you have control over 100% of your life? 100%. I'm not even talking 99.999%. I am talking 100%. And to what degree is there any bit of doubt around that? Because I guarantee you that bit of doubt is going to show up in your life in some form, in some way, manifesting itself in some way. It will show up in your life. So a lot of people don't feel like they have control. And so they look at all of the same old stuff that's always happened in their lives, and they look at it as some paradigm that they have been burdened with in their lives, and it keeps showing up because that is what is happening in their conscious awareness. They keep bringing it back, and it keeps showing up. It's a vicious cycle. It's what I talk about all the time. It's that habitual thinking that we get ourselves into, and our habitual thinking is what's showing up as the circumstances of our life. And they believe, and of course I'm not talking about anybody in here. They believe that they live in an unfair world because of all of these things that they have been burdened with in their lives because they don't have control. Not any single one of us lives in an unfair world. Unfair implies out of balance. Think about it. It implies out of balance, but everything in life is perfectly balanced. Everything in life. We teach the creative process in this philosophy, in the science of mind. That's one of the major elements of what we teach, the law of cause and effect, which is the creative process. So, as you think, what you believe shows up in your experience. It's as simple as that. What you think, your belief system, is cause. What shows up in your life is the effect based on that cause. And so, it's working continuously. 100% of the time, never stopping. It works while you sleep. It is constantly unfolding. Cause is constantly unfolding as effect in your life. It never tires. We get tired. I get tired sometimes. But the process of cause and effect never tires. And so if our cause is, I live in an unfair world, things are out of my control, the effect is, yes, you live in an unfair world, things are out of your control. But the effect is perfectly in balance with the cause. It's as simple as that, folks. This is a very simple philosophy. And so, what is the choice you are going to make today? To allow looking back upon the things in your past as some sort of paradigm for what is to be? Or are you going to be done with that, pack it up, let it go? In the book, The Power of Decision, Raymond Charles Barker writes this. I love this. First of all, I could do an entire 8 weeks on this first chapter alone. This is one of my favorite books. In fact, people who are new to this philosophy, I say to them, because they say, should I read The Science of Mind? And I say, really? You want to read The Science of Mind? It's pretty hefty. Read The Power of Decision first. What's that? Oh. Read The Power of Decision first. Because he really does. He encapsulates the entire philosophy in a very, very easy to digest way in a much shorter book. I love The Power of Decision. But he writes this, Raymond Charles Barker writes this. Worry, how many of us have ever felt worried? Never. Worry is the gestation period during which a negative situation is produced by our thought and appears in our experience as a problem. Worry, I'm going to read that again. Worry is the gestation period during which a negative situation is produced by our thought and appears in our experience as a problem. So if you are experiencing worry, check back in your own mind, in your own conscious awareness. What is that negative thing in mind about which you are worried? And then pack it up, turn it around, send it on its way. It is not required in your experience. But if you allow it, if you allow that gestation to happen, I guarantee you that thing about which you are worried is going to show up in your experience. We created it to begin with. And if it does show up, by the way, with the understanding that we created it, we get to recreate it. Because at any given moment, we are not subject to the past. We get to make a new decision from this point moving forward, and everything shows up accordingly, because that's the way this stuff works. We are intelligent. We are the embodiment and the expression of a universal intelligence at our own level of it. So let's act accordingly. Enough with the same old, same old. Title of today's talk. How many of you are, I will let this be rhetorical. It's always the questions that people might be embarrassed to answer. Oh, I don't know if I want to answer that. How many of you are holding on to those things? Just check in again with yourself. Are you holding on to anything at all that is detrimental to your future? And what can you do right now, right in this moment, because this is the only moment that exists? What can you do right now to recreate it so that your future is not based on that idea? It's as simple as making a decision that you are no longer subject to that thing. That's it. Let it go. People come to me in spiritual counseling sessions. I do some spiritual counseling sessions. I haven't done a lot recently, but maybe it's the summer. They're all up at the cottage having their spiritual experience. And I do hear that phrase a lot. Well, you know, my life, it's kind of the same old, same old. These things keep showing up in my life, and I don't really want them. I say, well, then be done with them. Be done with them. If you don't want it, think something new. Now, it's easy. I hesitate saying this because it's not. What many people come back to me with is, it's easier said than done. Right? How many of you heard that before? It's easier said than done. I don't know about you science of mind people. You're so happy. How can you be happy all the time? It's easier said than done. Ooh. It's only as easy as you decide for it to be. If you are holding on to something that is destructive in your life, let it go. Right now, make a decision. Let it go. It's not the same old, same old. It is only the same old if you decide to hold on to it and allow it to unfold in that way in your life. Barker also writes this: you cannot, really hear this, you cannot go beyond your own self-accepted image. As long as you underestimate yourself, you cannot succeed in life. He's very uplifting. To what degree do you underestimate yourself? And are you ready to step it up? Because as long as you are holding on to those lower expectations for yourself, you will never grow beyond that. Again, it's perfectly in balance. Everything that shows up in your self-expression is based entirely on your self-consciousness. It is your self-awareness. It is the capacity with which you decide to live an extraordinary life, that your life unfolds as extraordinary. The law responds perfectly, 100% of the time. It is always in perfect balance. Never judge yourself by what you have done. None of that matters. Anything that you have ever done, thought, said, experienced is all in the past. It no longer exists. Never judge yourself by what you have done. Judge yourself in terms of what you will do or what you are doing right now. How do you step beyond the paradigm? You are not the past. You are the present becoming the future. And so at all times, you have this capacity. All of us have this capacity to step it up in our lives. Principle is not bound by precedent. It's one of the major teachings in this philosophy. Principle is not bound by precedent. And you know who actually wrote that? Carmen? Troward. Thomas Troward. Yes, I'll be teaching a Thomas Troward class starting in a few weeks. Principle is not bound by precedent. The only reason that we believe it is, is because we've made some decision to hold on to things, to allow our past to become our future. Problems do not improve you. Problems do not improve you. How many of you, rhetorical? No, not a rhetorical. By a show of hands, how many of you have never experienced a problem in your life? All right. How many of you have experienced problems in your life? Problems are perceptions. Problems are perceptions. It is our perception that something is a problem that makes it a problem. This is where we start to really get clear on, if we understand that problems are perceptions, turning around our perception eliminates the problem, because it no longer is a problem when we change our mind about it. See how that works? Barker writes, problems do not improve you. The perception that we have a problem does not improve us. It does not make us better in the long run. It is not something that we can overcome to live a great life. You're either living a great life now or you're not. Problems do not improve you. Focus on them, and you will only keep the problem alive in your experience. It's a simple formula. I'm going to go back to this first quote, because he says, what does he say? The individual's ability to act unintelligently in a universe of intelligence is amazing. It's amazing. Later on in the chapter, he writes this: unintelligent use of mind can only produce an unintelligent result. He has a great sense of humor. Well, if that's the case, then we should know that an intelligent use of mind can only produce an intelligent result, right? Every perceived problem is the result of thinking only. And every perceived problem can only be eliminated by our thinking. That's it. The problem could not exist. So how do you do it? That's the big question for a lot of us. We come to this philosophy, how do I do this? How do I beat down those thoughts that just don't serve me anymore? Well, first of all, stop thinking you have to beat them down. You don't. You just have to start focusing on the new thoughts. The old thoughts will dissipate. It is about the practice of stepping into the new in a consciously aware way. So how do you do it? It's like Nike. You just do it. Just do it. Try it out. Just try it out. Spiritual practice is what we teach within this philosophy. Now, there are a lot of philosophies that basically support these same principles, these same ideas. They have different methods. We teach very specific methods here. We teach, it's so funny. I do always go to this place of, it is such a terrible term, and I wish that we didn't use it. But we teach this thing that is called spiritual mind treatment, which effectively is just prayer. We teach prayer. That is how you change your mind, by prayer. You are not, and none of us are praying to change the thing out there. We are praying simply to change our mind. That's it. To establish a new paradigm in thought. That's all we are ever doing in prayer. The rest of the stuff will take care of itself. Now, a lot of people, they come into these classes. I guarantee you I'm going to have people in Science of Mind, the 100 series, coming in on Sundays, and they're going to say, I want to change this in my life, this thing out here. And I say, great, change this, and that will take care of itself. But they don't quite hear that. And so they start writing out prayers, because that's one of the things you have to do. You have to start writing out prayers, and I will read them, and I will give you feedback on them. So they start writing out prayers, and they're writing prayers that are specifically about this thing out here. And I say, okay, let's take a step back and allow ourselves to address this thing here, this thing here. Because once that shifts, that shifts. Because this is cause, that is effect. And we are only ever praying to address cause, never effect. Effect always, in perfect balance, takes care of itself. So spiritual practice. Spiritual practice is how we do it. It is how we create new cause. We want to declare a new state of being at all times. And if you are ready for that, then use the tools you have at hand, which is your own conscious awareness, your own mind. Things like mental muscle, that's one option. Coming to class, it's another option. Showing up on a Sunday is an option. Because, much to the chagrin of my mentor, who told me, never teach on a Sunday, just inspire. I step into teaching quite a bit. Because it doesn't matter. This is a teaching philosophy. It is an inspiring philosophy, I believe that, but it is a teaching philosophy. And if I am not teaching, then what the heck am I doing? I mean, you can walk away from here feeling really good, yes. Oh, they're so happy, yes. But let's get down to the nitty-gritty and understand at all times that we are the ones who are in charge. Now, you have to do the work. No one else can do the work for you. Right, Carmen?
Correct.
Right, Judy? My practitioner interns, right, Charose? You have to do the work yourself. But once you do the work, look what happens. We get to stand up. We get to live the life that we've always dreamed about. It's such a good feeling. Allow yourself to become aware by being aware. No one else can do it for you. I can stand up here and I can tell you what I have learned and what works for me, and I'm very clear, it works for me. And take what works for you and utilize it, run with it, because there are other things that I've learned over my years of becoming a minister of Science of Mind that I say, yeah, that doesn't work for me so much, and so I let it go. If it doesn't work, don't engage yourself. Don't work so hard to try and make it work. If it doesn't work, let it go. Step into that which does work. But allow yourself to become aware by being aware. Step into this week becoming more aware of your tendency in thought. As you become aware of old tendencies that keep showing up in your experience, in your life, in your thought process, it is kind of like that. It's very repetitive. And our minds want to keep these things. So it is work to let them go and replace them. But as you become aware of an old tendency in thought, stop in that moment. say, you know what, I see you. I see you there, I understand you, and now I am going to replace you with a new thought. Which is why this umbrella philosophy is called New Thought. We're actually teaching old wisdom in New Thought. Shift your attention, shift your conscious awareness to the new idea and allow that to be the thing. The old will dissipate and the new will take over. One thing that really helps that is this: gratitude. Gratitude. So as you recognize these old tendencies and start to rethink them, start to embody a new idea, step into the place of gratitude that you have this capacity, that you are in charge of your life. There is no God out there who is saying, you must be this way, you must think this way, these are the things that you must do in order to get to heaven. That doesn't exist. Heaven is a state of mind, and we're living it now, or we're not. Where are you on this journey? Right now. Are you living in heaven? No one else is in charge. You are not ruled by anything outside of yourself unless you decide to be. And there's the caveat. What is the victim line in your song? There are no victims, only volunteers. It comes back around to that. If you decide to be a victim, what will show up in your experience is victimization. If you decide, even subconsciously, a lot of people think they cannot get rid of the victim mentality, but on the subconscious level, they're holding on to it and they say, you know, I've been a victim my whole life. And so what happens is perpetrators show up. They see, oh, they're always on the lookout for those perpetrators. And that's what they experience because they have a subconscious tendency and thought of victimization. Not a single one of us is ruled by anything outside of ourselves. You, Barker writes, are the result in this moment of your past decisions. The great news is you will become the result of your present decisions. You are the result of your past decisions, but you will become the result of your present decisions. So let that which no longer works simply slip away. Be done with it. This work is up to you and no one else. You are the living, breathing expression of an infinite intelligence that is always unfolding in terms of creation without fail, perfectly aligned and attuned to your conscious decision and your conscious awareness. And if you have decided that you have had enough of the same old, you get to change it right now. You ready to change it? I will preface the question again by saying this is not a rhetorical question. Are you ready to change it? Yes. All right. Thinkers, Barker writes, change this world, and you are a thinker. Thinkers change this world, and you are a thinker. So let that be the basis from which your life now unfolds. Bear this in mind as each and every one of us steps into this philosophy a little bit more deeply today, right in this moment, for it is our decision to do so. You know how I know it's our decision to do so for each and every single one of us? You showed up. You're here. So on some level, even if your friend dragged you here, allow yourself to be open to something new. Just allow yourself to hear a new idea and to make a determination in this moment. Is this workable for me? I will suggest that it is. It is. When we all understand the power of our mind, when we each of us understand on the individualized level that we are creators of life, then we truly begin to awaken ourselves to something new and exciting. And in doing so, we awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And we, all of us, create a world that works for everyone. Each and every single one of us. And I have taken it on as my responsibility, my personal responsibility, to teach this in everything I think, say, and do, not just on Sundays, but in my life. Wherever I go, I choose to hold on to this principle, to hold on to these paradigms, so that I can live by example and help other people understand that they are magnificent, because each and every one of you is magnificent. And so let's let that exponential growth happen. From this point forward, let us all be awakened. Namaste. Last week, after our celebration on Sunday, somebody came up to me and said, hey, you know what you've never really talked about when we get to this point in the service? This is, by the way, this is the money part. We have a different paradigm within the larger organization than a lot of churches. Whereas a lot of smaller churches are supported by larger organizations, in our organization it's exactly the opposite. We are 100% funded by our community. We don't receive any funds from anything outside of this community. So as the baskets go around today, I invite you to bear that in mind, that the Centers for Spiritual Living is home office. They don't send us money. Yeah, Carmen's saying, we send them money. And we do. But if you are willing to step into a new paradigm and contribute to the financial success of this center and allow the financial success of this center to translate itself throughout Toronto, throughout this country, throughout this world, we can create that world that works for everyone. That's what I truly believe. So as the baskets go around, we're going to sing this great song that was written by Pierre Gautreau called I Love. It's on page 29 of your songbooks if you want to take a look at that. And I also want to encourage everyone, if you're online, if you'd like to contribute to our financial success as well, you can do so by clicking on the donate button at the bottom of your screen. So stand up, dance, enjoy.
In honor of Caravana.
To do a blessing over the offering.
Oh, and in this moment of living and breathing and knowing that we are love, for there is only love and life, and the breath of creative expression and the breath of divine givingness, I say thank you for this givingness of love. This givingness is love. Love back in unto itself that only unfolds more love back into love. And for this I am grateful. I fill myself up with this love so that it's the only thing that emanates through and through. And in this recognition, I say thank you. Thank you for all we do. Thank you for all God does. Thank you. Just thank you for the creative expression of life. And these are the words that I allow to circulate right here, right now, knowing that it is done. And together we say, and so it is.
I want to offer my gratitude to everyone who makes this service possible, starting with Judy and Helen, our board members on duty today. Thank you for your service. I want to thank Lori and Christina for setting up our greeters today, Christina and Toby. I want to thank in the bookstore Marg and cleaning. Lucy came in yesterday and cleaned. Thank you so much. I want to thank Carrie in the sound booth. Yay! I want to thank Cara and Jim in our video webcasting booth. I want to thank Mahalo with our dynamic kids. I want to thank Pierre Gautreau and the Queen Street Band. Practitioners are here for your use. For your use. If there's something that is not unfolding in a way that you would like in your life, speak to a practitioner. They can set the course aright. For there is one mind, that mind is universal, and we're all tapped into it, using it as our own. So a practitioner can help you set something new, a new course in your life. So, of course, all the practitioners and practitioner interns basically have left the room now. I was going to introduce them. But Margaret Ann is here, and Carmen is here. Rose and Helen are both in that crew as well. Is there anyone that I'm...
Judy.
And Judy. Judy, where did Judy go? Judy's doing the count, yes. Anyway, they're all here to help you. And in that understanding, I want to say thank you, Carmen, for helping me with a new bit of inspiration today. Your magnificent meditation, your quote, your story, your treatment, all aligned perfectly for me today. So I'm grateful to you. So as we move into this next moment, allow yourself to simply relax where you are. Take in whatever it is that you have heard today that moves you. It may be one thing, it may be many things, but whatever it is, that one source, that one bit of inspiration, allow that now to take hold. For there is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is our life right here, right now, and it is perfect in its unfoldment at all times. And at all times, we are perfectly held in the arms of grace, in the arms of love. There is only one thing going on. So I invite you to allow that to be. I'm held in love, I'm held in peace. God is holding me with every breath, with every step. God is holding me. I'm held in love, I'm held in peace. God is holding me with every breath, with every step. God is holding me. 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 God, love, spirit, that infinite, universal, creative power, whatever we choose to call it, that energy that resource. It is here. It is present, for it is present and fully expressing itself in terms of creation throughout the entire universe. There is nothing separate from it. We are all part of it, each and every one of us, an individualized expression of this divine energy, this divine power. There is nothing outside of the self, only the self. And so as this self unfolds for each and every one of us right here, right now, as each and every one of us right here, right now, I call upon it and its creative power to unfold in magnificence for each and every one of us. I know that what needs to be known here today is known. For the presence is fully experienced by each and every one of us. Whether we are aware of it or not, it is fully experienced. And so right now, I allow myself to sink deeper into that recognition, that knowing that this creative power, this love, this energy is unfolding in every area of my life. And I call upon it to experience itself by means of me and by means of each and every person here as perfect health, perfect wealth, perfect love, perfect creative expression, perfect relationships, perfection in all things. And I know that this is done because I have spoken it. My word spoken is complete. For it is backed by the conviction of this idea that God is all that is happening. And so I know it to be so. And in gratitude for this understanding, in gratitude for this teaching, in gratitude for all that is unfolded right here, right now, in terms of this thing called Sunday celebration, in gratitude for all of it coming together for a perfect experience and a purposeful experience, I let it be so as I release this word to that immutable law, the law of cause and effect. I know it is done, and I let it be done as together we say, and so it is.
God is holding me. God is holding me. God is holding me. God is holding me. I'm held in love. I'm held in peace. God is holding me. With every breath, with every step, God is holding me. I'm held in love, I'm held in peace. God is holding me. With every breath, with every step, God is holding me.
All right. And so we're going to kick it into high gear now as we end the day with Don't Stop on page 18 of your songbooks. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you in fellowship.
If you wake up and don't want to smile, if it takes just a little while, open your eyes and look at the day.